ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। निरञ्जनं नित्यमनन्तरूपं भक्तानुकम्पाधृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमीड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामि। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपान्तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परा। सत्यमेव जयते नानृतं सत्येन पन्था विततो देवयानः येनाक्रमन्ति ऋषयः ह्याप्तकामाः यत्र तत्सत्यस्य परमं निधानम्। सत्यमेव जयते नानृतं. This mantra comes in Mundaka Upanishad. It has a great message to the entire humanity. It says, a truthful person alone was successful, is successful, and will be successful. In the last session, we saw that this ideal, that truth alone triumphs, is taken as the national motto of our democratic and republic modern India. So every citizen should understand this revelation, how important it is to be truthful in our life. And whenever we think about any person who has followed the truth, in our culture there may be millions of people who might have given up everything for the sake of truth, but among them one personality comes as a pole star, and that personality is Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra Murthy. That's why if it is told Dharmatma Satyasandaha anywhere in the scripture, immediately the acharyas, the commentators write Bhagavan Sri Rama. So Dharmatma Satyasandaha means Rama. There may be many Dharmatmas and Satyasandas. Among them, Rama was the greatest personality who has followed this value and who has given up everything for the sake of this one particular value, and who lived a happy life, fulfilled life, a life of manliness. So we will try to understand this principle, how a person who holds on to truth wins, in the context of Bhagavan Ramchandra Murthy's story. In Valmiki Ramayana, there comes a situation wherein Bharata comes to Chitrakuta and requests Rama to come back to Ayodhya. I hope you all know that Ramayana story. So while requesting, Bharata told, "Brother, forgive me, I am not the cause for this conspiracy of sending you to Vanavasa. Out of greediness and out of attachment towards me, my mother Kaikeyi did it. Therefore, I request you to come back. This Rajya belongs to you. Because our father Dasharatha gave word to the entire nation, keeping all the rishis as the witness. Just one day before your Vanavasa, the entire nation was assured that you are going to be the king. Suddenly, at that fateful night, something happened. Therefore, you are here. Therefore, it is conspiracy. Please come back." Then Ramji says, no, I cannot come back, because father asked me to live in forest. I have to fulfill its desire. I have to keep the promise given by my father to Mother Kaikeyi. Then Bharata asks, which promise you are going to keep? Father has given so many promises. He has given promise to the entire nation one day before. And he has given promise to Kaikeyi that particular night. And again, he has given promise so many years before when he was fighting with Asuras. He has given promise to Kaikeyi Devi that to boon you can ask, anything you can ask like that. So which promise you are going to fulfill? Then Ramji told, none of these things are worthy, because before all these promises, one promise was given by Dasharatha to Kekeyi Raja Ashwapati. Before the marriage itself, he has given that the son who is going to be born for Kaikeyi, that son will be crowned. That promise should be fulfilled. Then Bharata says, we never knew. That doesn't mean that he has not given that promise. The very marriage between Dasharatha and Kaikeyi happened because of this promise. When father was attached towards me, and when the people started liking me more than you, then father decided to crown me. Seeing this violation, Mother Kaikeyi decided that I should put my husband in the path of truth. And that is not possible if I am an ordinary person. If I request ordinary way, that is not possible, because Dasharatha's love for or attachment for Rama is too strong. Therefore, she has taken the character of a villain. Therefore, she has used or misused the blank check given by Dasharatha to Kaikeyi during the war. So, keeping her self-dignity down, she wanted to put her husband promise as a factual one. Therefore, Bharata, you have to respect. One part of that promise is, I have to live in the forest. Another part of the promise is, you have to rule the kingdom. This much he has convinced. So, Bharata did not have anything to say. Then comes Japali Rishi. Japali Rishi is a famous Rishi, Atmajnani, and one of the 7 rishis in the court of Dasharatha. But he comes and argues here utter materialistic philosophy. He comes and argues to Rama that Rama, I thought you are an intelligent person. You are not intelligent person, you are a fool. You don't know how to live in this world. So he says to Rama, Kah kasya purushaha bandhuhu kimapyam kasya kenachite eko hi jayate jantuhu ekayeva vinashyati. Rama, who belongs to whom? Kaha kasya bandhuhu. Kaha purushaha kasya bandhuhu. Who belongs to whom? Nobody belongs to anyone. Dharma anushtanena kimapyam. What you are going to get by following the truth? Nothing you are going to carry. Neither dharma is going to come with you, nor satyam is going to help you. Because satyam, that satyam which is not going to make you happy, what is the use of following that satyam? Now you are telling, I am ready to suffer for the sake of satyam. What is the use of that satyam? Because eko hi jayate jantuhu ekayeva vinashyati. Nasti kaschit kasyachit. You are talking, father's truth I have to fulfill, father's promise I have to fulfill, you are telling. Who is that father? Nobody belongs to anyone. Nice, na? Nobody belongs to anyone. Who is the father? Who is the son? Jantuhu, a jiva comes according to its own punya karma and papa karma. You belong to none, nobody belong to you. Tasman mata pita cheti rama sajjeta yo naraha unmatta iva sanyeyaha nasti kaschidhi kasyachit. Tasmat, therefore, mata pita cha iti sajjeta yo naraha saha unmattaha. He is a mad person who is attached to parents. He is a mad person who is attached to parents. Hey Rama, Mata pita cha iti sajjeta yaha saha unmattaha. Unmattaha eva, he says. He is like a madman. Unmattaha eva, if you would have told, gone. Eva means he is a madman. Confirmed judgment. Here Japali Rishi says he is like a mad person. It's a saving grace. And what about this family, father, mother and other things and dharma and other things? He says, what is human life? Human life is nothing but a simple journey. In between you stay in a place. And people who are around you, they call you as their son or relative. That doesn't mean that you belong to them. It's a traveling guest house. This creation is nothing but traveling guest house. Manushyanam pita mata graham vasu avasa matram. It's a simple guest house. Atra sajjanaha na sajjante. In this guest house, the people, good people, noble people will not get attached. With this guest house called creation and people and father, mother relationship, with these things, the good people will not attached. Then what should I do? Take care of yourself. What's the judgment? Take care of yourself. Rajabhoga ananubhavan maharghan parthivatmajaha viharaha tvamayodhyaya yatha shakrastri vishtape. Like Indra is enjoying the Indra bhoga, similarly you also enjoy the Raja bhoga. Come back to Ayodhya. Tasmat. Therefore you come back to it. Wherefore? Because there is nothing called father or mother. All are just like guests in our travel, and the very creation itself is nothing but anityam. Therefore enjoy. First two ideas are correct. What two ideas are correct? That this creation is anityam, that we are traveling in an eternal journey. Which father I have to worship? Which father I have to worship? If you are going to worship all the fathers you had, it is impossible to worship him. You had monkey father, donkey father. Which father you will remember? Why should you remember only human father? So all are nothing but instruments. You need not bother about their promise. Just to take care of yourself. Like that he says. Vedanta also says that father is the father for your body, not for you. And this creation is a staying place. It is a anityam asukam lokam. Therefore, what Vedanta says? Therefore attain knowledge, it says. Creation is anityam asukam lokam. Therefore, try to attain knowledge within this short period of Manushya Janma. This is Vedanta's therefore. Ramji told to Bharata, this creation is anityam, therefore follow dharma. Now Japali Rishi says this creation is anityam, therefore enjoy. So in therefore is a very, very poisonous. Therefore, Japali ji says, Nate kaschid dasharataha tvam cha tasya na kaschana anyo raja tvamanyastu tasmat kuru yaduchyate. Dasharatha is different person. You never belong to him, nor he belongs to you. No one belongs to anyone. Then what about respect to father and other thing? Japali Rishi says, there is nothing called father or mother. No one can say that I am your father or I am your mother. I hope you understand this is Purva Paksha. Understood? Purva Paksha means what? Wrong idea. Wrong idea advocated by Japali Rishi to instigate Rama to tell lie or to come back to Ayodhya. So Japali Rishi says, Bijamatram pita jantoho shukram shonitamevacha sanyuktam ritaman matra purushasyeha janmatat. How can you call someone as father and mother? They never asked your arrival. They never asked your arrival. Father and mother means what? They want to have some sense pleasure. So in that absence of mind, Bhagavan sent you, that's all. So they cannot say that you belong to them. They cannot say that they are father and mother. Mother and father are just instruments in getting the child. They join together due to lust. The result is you have come arrived. And there are some father who can even sing, Yen Pirandai Mahane, Yen Pirandayo. Why you have come, my dear child? We never expected you. We want to have a nice time in our married life, but we never expected you. Suddenly doctors say that you have arrived. Naan piranda karanathai naane ariyum munne. Ingu vandu yen pirandai sella magane. When I myself don't know what purpose I have come here, you have come here, arrived here. Why you have come, my dear child? So that is the condition of the father. No father wants a child, no mother wants a child. There is no need for the child to have gratitude towards the parent. No, they prayed for my arrival. They prayed for my arrival. All right, even if they prayed for arrival, is it for their benefit they prayed or for your benefit they prayed? It is for their benefit they prayed. When they are so selfish, why should you bother about them? You can even dump them in old age home. That's why modern generation children ask, when a mother says, hey, I have begotten you, I have given birth to you, immediately child says, why you have given birth to me and troubling me? Why you have given birth? I never asked that I should come to you. Child asks. So these type of ideas are not new for us. This type of materialistic ideas are not new for us. It is there in the age-old Ramayana. So, Japali Rishi says, Gatasya nrpatihi tatra gantavyam yatra te navai pravrittiresha bhutanam tvantumitya vihanyase. Raja Dasharatha, where he has to go, he has already gone. He has joined the majority. Who are that majority? Those people who have come and lived and dead are called a majority. In English, beautiful phrase it is, he has joined majority. Who are the majority people? Those who have gone, dead and gone. So, bhutanam prakritihi esha. This is the natural consequence of anything which comes to this world. Tam tu mithya vihanyase. Why you are worried about the dead and gone father? Why you want to follow his promise? Then again he says, Artha dharma para ye ye tanstan shochamine taran tehi dukkamiha prapya vinasham pretyale bhire. I am pity towards you, my dear Rama. I have that pity. Why? Why you should pity me? I pity on you because you also have that same idiotic idea. What is that idiotic idea? Instead of being happy and enjoy this world, you want to be truthful. In what way I am pitiable? Here Japali Rishi says, those fellows who are committed for wealth and dharma are pitiable. Those fellows who are committed for wealth and dharma are pitiable. How it is? A stingy fellow who is committed for wealth is pitiable person. Wealth is for what? Wealth is for enjoyment. Instead of enjoying, he wants to save the wealth. Even he cannot take one ice cream. Even he cannot purchase one beautiful fruit juice. Suppose you imagine a person, stingy person, wants to have a particular fruit juice. It has come from America, that new item. 120 rupees board is there. And his friends also told, hey, it is very beautiful, it is very nice. So he want to have that at the same time 120 rupees. So 1 day, 2 days, 3 days he avoided it, but he could not avoid that desire. So one day with all courage he entered the cool drinks parlor. He ordered that cool drinks. In his mind that board price is there, 120 rupees. So one glass of juice has come and they have given one straw also. So what he should do? He should bow down and take the juice. As even he takes that juice, it is really nice. It is really nice and really taste. Ha ha ha, like that mind says. Immediately another mind says, ayyo, 25% has gone. Because 120 rupees. One sip is equal to 30 rupees gone. One sip, 30 rupees gone. So you want to enjoy it in a relaxed way. My Acharya Swamiji used to tell this. He want to enjoy that juice in a relaxed way. The waiter who has supplied the cool drinks, he is observing this person. From where this village fellow has come. Instead of taking the juice, this person is simply observing that juice. Like this he is seeing. Because seeing a precious thing gives happiness. As far as this stingy person is concerned, the juice is 100 rupees worthy. So instead of drinking, he sees that. Then the waiter says, sir, please take. Okay, I will take. Again one more sip, 50% gone. So as when the juice goes inside, you get happiness. But when you see the glass half empty, again, what happens? Unhappiness. So Jabali Rishi says, this is not a pitiable condition. This fellow doesn't have value for enjoyments, but he has a value for money. So I pity on him. Te hi dukkamiha prapya vinasham pretya lebhire. This stingy fellow, never he enjoys, nor he allows others to enjoy. Simply he saves in bank and goes away, dies away. Neither he can carry those bank balance. What about dharmic people who want to follow the values and try to suffer? About them also I have pity. I pity on them. Because this life is for enjoyment. Instead of enjoying, this fellow, this dharmic fellow who want to be a man of character, he is simply suffering because of his principles. What principle a person requires? What principle a person requires? The first principle a person requires is, he should keep himself happy. If the value, the so-called value called truth, is going to disturb his happiness, why should he follow? At any cost, one should keep himself happy. Therefore, he can do anything and everything. What will happen? What will happen if somebody comes and beats me? Run away. When somebody tries to catch you and beat you, run away. Because you have cheated and took money from him and enjoyed the life, and when the person who gave money, when he comes and beats you, run away. Where to run away? World is very vast. You can go to America also. World is very vast. There also how I will start the same thing. Take loan. How many banks are there? How many credit cards are there? Nowadays they themselves are offering. Why you bother? Ultimately what you should do? You should keep yourself comfortable, happy. Instead of suffering for the sake of unseen dharma, unseen future, unseen papa, the presence is very, very important. What is that presence? Being joyful in the presence. Then question comes, Ramji asks, okay, what about Jiva going to another world, taking another birth and expecting our prayers and gratitudes? Our forefathers are told that they are expecting our prayers and gratitude, and when we do puja towards them for their sake, when we do the Shraddha puja and Tarpana, it goes to them like that. We heard. Jabali Rishi says, it's all silly. It's all silly, it's all superstition. Ashtaka pitrudevatyam ityayam prasudo janaha annasya upadravam pashya mritohi kim ashishyati. It's all silly. Can a dead person will take food? Can a dead person will take food? Living person himself cannot take food. When you eat, keeping your living father next to you, will the food go to his stomach? Or your father is in Delhi and you call someone, uncle, you come. My father is in Delhi. This is the time generally he takes lunch. So I want to feed him. So you please take food. So you feed the uncle. And when your father comes from Delhi, when you ask, Father, I fed you. He will ask, when you fed me? No, that day, same day, yesterday I fed you. No, you did not feed me. No, I fed the uncle. I fed uncle. When your father is living in this world, when he has gone for some distance, that food itself doesn't reach. Here Shraddha, what says Shraddha says, you feed Brahmanas, it goes to Surgaloka. What a bluff it is. Nothing but superstition. Mritaha kim ashishyati? How can a dead person can eat? And that too, what you give, can anybody eat? In Shraddha time, you have to see what is the Shraddha food. What is Shraddha food, you know? They will add all a husk. Can anybody eat husk? Dry cakes. Punnakku solluvaanga Tamil. Punnakkalam poduvaanga. Rama gave this dry cake as the offering for Shraddha. Can anybody eat dry cake? Who will relish your saltless food? Annasya upadravam pashya. Yadi anyena iha bhuktam anyasya deham gacchati. If the food eaten by one person goes to another person, then you can say that you can do prayer to your father and show the gratitude. Okay, all these things are told in scriptures. All of them are bluff? Or the rishis are fools? Or did they tell lie? Did they tell lie? That you should be grateful. If your father is passed away, you should show your gratitude by performing Shraddha ceremony. You should be grateful by holding on to the promises which he has given. You should pay back the loan which was taken by your father when he was alive. All these things are told in the scriptures, and rishis have given this more importance to this. Are they all fools? Then Jabali Rishi says, no. Rishis are not fools. They are very, very intelligent. Dana samvanana hete granta medha vibhikrataha yajasva dehi dikshasva tapastapyasva santyaja. Rishis are not fool, but they made you people are fool. How? Granta medha vibhikrata. All these scriptures are written by these medhavis. They are all wise people, intelligent people. In what way they are intelligent? In making you as fools, they are intelligent. How? What they told? Yajasva, dehi, dikshasva, tapasva, santyaja. Worship, give charity. Tyage naike amrutatvam. Renounce. When you renounce all your wealth, who will be there to receive it? Same rishis, same brahmanas will come and tell, give. So they want to live without working. So therefore they told to the public, do puja. So doing puja means what? Sankalpa time itself you have to give dakshina. Before starting sankalpa, if you do puja, ritual puja, before starting itself, that priest will ask, give dakshina. You have to give 101. According to the dakshina only, mantra will expand and contract. If you give 500 rupees, it will be 17 minutes Rudram. If you give for 50 rupees, it will be 11 minutes Rudram. So whatever it may be, they wanted to fool the public. Therefore, they have given all these rules and regulations. They cannot work hard and earn their bread. Therefore, they told, we will be priests to you and you do puja. While doing puja, you give lot of money to us. Tyage naike amrutatvam. They told, renounce. In renunciation alone, you get immortality. When you renounce, who will be there to take your money? Because you have to renounce means what? Somebody has to be there to receive. They will come and they will tell, we are the brahmanas, we are there to receive the bhiksha. So these are all befooling the society. Therefore, Rama, what you should do? Sanasti paramityetate kuru buddhim mahamate pratyaksham yattadadishta paroksham prishtatah kuru. Therefore, hey Mahamate, O intelligent one. Mahamate means what? O intelligent one. What you should do now? Nasti paramiti buddhim kuru. There is nothing called higher life. There is nothing called quality life. Neither here nor after death. The highest quality is what? How much you are happy, how much you can enjoy the sense pleasures, how much you can keep yourself at the top of the world. Even if it involves cheating, cutthroat, and what you call hurting others, never bother, because one life can live on another life. This is the creation, natural. One life can live on another life. So therefore never bother about all those things. Yet pratyaksham tadatishta. Take care of the present. What about the future? Paroksham prishtatak kuru. Leave away the paroksha, leave away the unseen future. He says, Satam buddhim puraskritya tvam rajyam vihrunishva. These are all not my ideas, these are all ideas of sadhus. Which sadhu? Rama was very much annoyed to hear this, and he asked, which sadhu? Sadhu means what? Dadiwala sadhus only. I have dadi, I have mustache, I have beard. So whatever I say, that is the fact. Satam buddhim puraskritya tvam rajyam grinishva. You come back to Ayodhya. In this way, when Japali Rishi talked, why he talked, we will come to know afterwards. He says afterwards, Rama, I want to test your commitment towards the truthfulness. But now Ramji was not sure why he has talked, but he was completely angry. He was full of anger. First he asked, how my father kept you in his ministry? Because my father was a really good person. I lived with him last 25 years. And how he can keep a Nastika? How he can keep a person who can talk about materialism as the principle of life? And if you declare yourself as Nastika, then we will not bother about you. You declare yourself as Rishi, Jabali Rishi, and you become a Dadiwala, then you speak about Nastikavada. Is it not hypocrisy? Like that he simply scolds him and says that I will answer all your questions. And I will establish that everything in life, whether in present life or in future life, everything in life can be achieved by any individual just by being truthful. So hereafter, 1 or 2 classes, we will see what are all the Ramji's arguments. It is very, very beautiful argument. The kernel of entire Valmiki Ramayana is here. The essence, what Rama stands for, what are all his philosophies, how he is unperturbed. Even when some person who is keeping the position called advisor position, even when that person tries to tempt or misguide, how Ramji was very, very clear with regard to the value of being a truthful person. He will give answer to Japali Rishi at 4 levels. First level is success in human life, and in that success itself, success in personal life, success in social life. Then success in life after, and he will establish there is a life after, and he will establish Shastra is Pramanam, and he will establish that a person who conducts his life according to scriptural injunctions is the most intelligent person, and he derives nothing but profit. All those things he will do it. Let us take first stage, that success in personal life. He says, Nirmaryadastu Purushaha Papachara Samanvitaha Manam Nalabhate Satsu Bhinnacharitrya Darshanaha. It's a beautiful assertion. He says, a person who violates truth will not have respect. A person who violates truth will not have respect. Respect from whom? Respect from whom? Respect from himself, and respect from the society he will not have. Let us analyze this statement. It's a beautiful statement. If you analyze any individual life, he has three roles. He is a knower, jnata. He is a doer, karta. He is an enjoyer, bhokta. Every individual plays these three roles constantly from beginning to end of his life. Jnata, karta, bhokta. Knower, doer, enjoyer. As a knower with a mind which has that intelligence, which has the capacity to know what is what, as a knower, he knows certain things universally. As a jnata, every human being knows certain things universally. Like every living beings in the world knows gravitation theory. Gravitation theory, anybody teaches us? Even monkeys are not taught. You can observe the monkey, a newborn child will be holding on mother monkey. Did anybody taught it? Did anybody was there to call all the monkey children? You imagine a classroom, all the monkey children have come. So an old monkey is teaching. When your mother jumps from one tree to another, what you all have to do? One monkey child asks, what should we do? You should hold on. Why? Why? Otherwise you will fall. What is the meaning of falling? Falling means death. Why should we die? That's what gravitation theory. Does anybody says? But monkey child, you can know that it will be holding on. And mother was very sure that child knows this theory. Monkey mother was very sure. At least ordinary human mother, when she gives birth to a child, she walks, she doesn't go for marathon race. But this monkey mother goes for marathon race. At least that monkey mother can walk on the ground, just avoid the jumping from one tree to another tree. But it doesn't do, because the monkey mother was very sure. Human children will learn or not, we don't know. Monkey children will learn what is the meaning of gravitation, what is the meaning, necessity of holding the mother. Similarly, human mind knows certain basic things. These are all commonly sensed values. That's why in our culture, my Acharya used to say, in our culture, values are not mandate of the Lord, values are manifestation of the Lord. Huge difference is there. If it is a mandate, mandate means what? Orders given by Bhagavan. When? After the creation is over. Suppose you take the Christian theology or Islam theology, there a time comes, one prophet is called and the prophet is handed over 10 commandments. Love everyone. Don't tell lie. Before that, humanity should not have known that. And if a God, if he has created a Srishti wherein these types of values are not already inbuilt mechanism, then there is a lacuna in the creation. Imagine a car company, Ferrari car. In that car, there is no brake system. And Ferrari car is released. After that, the owner of the car company thinks that, hey, brake system is not there. Oh, call back all the, or one person who is the leader of the purchasing community, you call him, consumer committee leader, you call him and you tell this is what brake system. Is it okay? Will the company owner is an intelligent person? Is that engineer is intelligent person? Is that product is a perfect product? No. Similarly, a creation without having brake system is a lacuna on the part of the creator's intelligence. What is that brake in our life? Ramji says, Satya. You ask any person in the creation that do you want someone to cheat you? He will tell no, no, no. So you know truth is more important in your life. That is why, as I told in the last class, even the thief knows truth is very, very important. When he enters the house and asks the bureau key from the owner of the house, when that owner, mother says, no, I don't have key, my husband has taken, immediately thief says, don't tell lie, because your lie is problem for me. So, as Jnata, you know that truth is important. As Bhokta, as an enjoyer, you want others to follow the truth. Because if he doesn't follow the truth, you are the loser. You don't want to be the loser. Therefore, you expect others to follow the truth. But when it comes to you to reciprocate, you say no. So what happens? The individual who has three roles, Jnata, knower, Bhokta, enjoyer, and Karta, doer, these three persons are split persons. Knower knows something, enjoyer wants the same thing, doer refuses to do that. Then what happens? That individual becomes a split person. Whenever I violate the truth, I become a person with split personality. I say to others, tell truth. I expect others to follow truth. When husband says to wife that be truthful to me, same law applies to husband also, because wife also is an individual. She also expects her husband to be truthful. But this person says, you should be truthful, I will not be truthful. Can he has the guts to say that? Can he has the guts to say that? So he has to pretend as though he is truthful. Correct? He has to pretend as though he is truthful. Therefore, the person is split personality. Any person who pretends is called a split personality. For the society, he has one face. For himself, he has another face. That split personality means it is a loss. Ramji's assertion is what? Any person who has split personality is a loser, because split personality puts you against yourself. Because you are divided into three, or at least two. You are divided into at least two. So you against yourself. Can you be happy? All the time you are quarreling with someone. Can a quarreling person be happy? No. If it is quarrel with others, you can avoid that quarrel and run away. If it is quarrel with yourself, all the time the mind will tell, you are useless, you are useless. While the society says, you are great, you are great. Even an ordinary thing which you want to do, if you are not able to practice it, you feel that you are good for nothing. Say for example, these are all our day-to-day life experience. Suppose somebody is recognized as a diabetic patient, and that person is advised by doctor that early morning 5 o'clock you have to get up and do yogasana or exercise. And the doctor advised him what is the benefit of getting up, what will happen if he doesn't do exercise, like that. So the person also is convinced, and the patient decides that 5 o'clock he should get up. So he puts alarm. 5 o'clock alarm he puts. Who has decided to get up 5 o'clock? Not the doctor. Patient himself has decided. So he puts the 5 o'clock alarm. Alarm rings 5 o'clock exactly, because it is a machine. But when that alarm rings, what this person says? 5 more minutes, snooze. Then 5 minutes become 50 minutes. 5 minutes become 50 minutes. So when he gets up after 50 minutes, his mind is not happy, because, what mind I have? I only decided to get up. I decided to do something. If I myself cannot do something, how can I expect others to do what I want them to do? If I cannot do what I want to do, how can I expect others to do what I want them to do? So what happens? It's a silent insult. So one day he swallows it. Then second day, night again he thinks, at least tomorrow I will get up. Second day also same case. Because practice habit is not easy to change. Second day also same thing. Third day when he was about to put alarm, his wife says, don't do that. Why? I want to get up. You will not get up. You are disturbing my sleep. Because she gets up 5:30 without alarm. You disturb my sleep. Don't do that. No, I want to get up. You cannot do that. Don't put it. So he says, no, please, one day at least. Then he puts the alarm. I have to get up 5 o'clock, I have to get up 5 o'clock. With that anxiety, he went for sleep. Sleep did not come. Then he went for sleep, he got sleep only late night. So naturally 5 o'clock alarm rang. Again the snooze has come. So when he got up, again his mind says, you are good for nothing, fellow. You cannot even get up the 5 o'clock. You cannot fulfill this one small resolve. When you have that pain within yourself silently, your wife also comes and says, didn't I tell you? சொன்ன இல்லையா உங்களுக்கு அலாரம் வைக்க வேணான்னு, என் பேச்சு கேட்டிங்களா? நடக்காதுன்னா சரி மே, I know that you cannot do that. So what happens? Will you be happy? It's an insult. Why? Why? Because what the knower knows, doer refuses to do. What the enjoyer wants, doer refuses to follow. Therefore the person is split person. With a split personality, nobody can be happy. Violation of values leads to split personality. Split personality puts oneself in conflict with oneself, and this conflict creates constant guilt and irritation, and ultimately he ends up with self-pity. He ends up with low self-esteem, low self-dignity. So he himself doesn't have respect to himself. That is why Bhagavan says, Papachara samanvitaha bhinna charitya darshanaha manam na labhate. One who violates the values of life and one who pretends as though he is a man of value. Bhinna charitya darshanaha means a man of pretension. What will happen? Manam na labhate. From whom he will not get respect? From himself he will not get respect. His own mind will not accept him as grand. Manam labhate. He doesn't get respect from himself. He has low self-esteem. Low self-esteem creates guilt and ashanti and irritation. In the mind wherein ashanti is always present, can any achievement will be enjoyable achievement? Ashantasya kutas sukham. Bhagavan Krishna asks in Gita, when the mind is disturbed, can he enjoy anything in the world? Imagine you are very, very angry against the rickshawala because he has cheated you. So with that angry mood, just go to ice cream parlor and purchase one Baskin Robinson ice cream. It's a nice ice cream, you can try, but little costly. You purchase that, beautiful ice cream it is. With that angry mood you try to eat. You try to eat. Really? It's all example. When the mind is disturbed, the most sweetest thing becomes a boring one. Or with angry mood, take one newspaper. With angry mood, take a newspaper. Can you read? Same line only you will be reading. Same line you will be reading. So when mind is disturbed, nothing in the world is enjoyable to you. Therefore, loss of self-dignity is a real loss. Because once you violate, you become a split person, a person of hypocrisy. Then a person of hypocrisy becomes a person of unhappiness. With unhappy mind, anything you get from the world is a loss. So all thing we want in our life is to increase our self-judgment, correct? Everything we want in our life is to increase our dignity according to our own judgment. Even though Shastra says you are Amritasya Putra, what we think? I am not Amritasya Putra, I am Mritasya Putra only. I am aged 50 years. Swamiji, today is my 50th birthday. When I say, what does it mean? I am aging 50 years over, I am going to die. I am Mritasya Putra. I don't have that judgment that I am Amritasya Putra. When I don't have proper judgment, every judgment I have will be inadequate one. Therefore, I will have desires. Then to fulfill those desires, I want to increase my judgment about myself. Therefore, Ramji says, everything a person seeks in his life is for what sake? Just to improve his self-dignity. A person cannot be happy with low self-dignity. I want to see myself with high self-dignity, and I find society respects a person only when he has a education, only when he is in job, only when he has wealth, only when he has power, only when he has position. Therefore, I go for all those things. So all my search, all my struggle to have education, job, marriage life, and power, position, wealth, for what sake? For the sake of increasing my self-judgment or increasing my self-dignity. By having them, I will have more and more self-dignity. Therefore, I go for it. Ramji says, in that process, if you lose your self-dignity, which you have already with you, it is a real loss. Say for example, a college student writes an examination. Since he has not prepared well, since he did not have that confidence that he can write well, he took to copying method. He wrote examination, nicely copied. And examination paper went to the university. There marks are given. Marks are not given for the character of the person. Marks are not given even to the intelligence, because marks are given for answers written in the paper, that's all. Whether that answer is written copied way or memorized or after understanding you wrote that answer, or simply you omitted that answer or copied that answer, nobody knows. So marks are given, and he copied in such a way he got gold medal in that paper. Then gold medal came. For the principal and the teacher, faculty members wonder, hey, this fellow all the time cinema theatre, there, here and there he was roaming, how he got? And the friends also were wondering, hey, how you got? So he has to now pretend. What he told, I was with you all, daytime, night time, how much I studied, Then what to do? Principal cannot return that gold medal. Even though principal knows certain facts, he cannot return that gold medal. So he arranged for a function, and that gold medal was handed over to him with a garland. So everybody clapped, everybody accepted him as gold medalist. What is the meaning of someone accepting you as gold medalist? That they want to say that you are intelligent person. According to present education system, what is the meaning of gold medal? That he is an intelligent person. So everybody accepted him that he is intelligent. Therefore, gold medal was handed over. Then this fellow was really wondering, pass aganonu parisha ezhudana gold medal kuduttaanungo. I want to, I copied so that I will pass, like that I thought. Now this fellow has given gold medal. How it will be? How nice it will be to see myself as a gold medalist. Others have seen me as gold medalist and accepted me as gold medalist. So I want to see myself as a gold medalist. So with all happy mood, he comes inside the house. As even he was entering, his mother, who never dreamt of this fellow passing the examination, who went to other ashramas and got blessings from Bhagavan and sadhus, and she wondered how this fellow got gold medal. She thought, my prayers have worked at least. So how she welcomes him. So she does one arati and says, please come, my dear, please come. As Thiruvalluvar says, ஈன்ற பொழுது பெரிதுவக்கும் தன்மகன் சான்றோன் என கேட்டத்தாய். A mother will be very happy when somebody says that your child is a intelligent child. That happiness will be more than the happiness when she gave birth to the child. So with that happiness, she invites the child. This fellow goes inside and stands in front of the mirror, want to see himself as gold medalist. So he stands in front of the mirror and says to himself, talks to himself, do you know who am I? Who am I? I am gold medalist. Immediately one more voice comes without any form. Hey idiot, hey cheat, do you want to fool me? Who says? His own mind says. His own mind says, I cannot accept you. So far I consider you as an idiot. Now I will add one more epithet to you, one more attribute to you. You are not only idiot, you are a cheat also. So whenever he tries to claim himself as gold medalist, this immediately his own mind comes and says, you are idiot and cheat. So he was very much perturbed and he doesn't want to enjoy. He cannot release that because his own mind is not accepting it. So he wants to put it in the bureau. But mother wants to tell to everyone that my son is gold medalist. She says, don't put in the bureau, put on the wall. So when it is put on the wall, every relatives and friends come. And whenever they see that, then they are really, oh, you are gold medalist. Congratulations. Idiot, cheat. Congratulations. Idiot, cheat. Congratulations, idiot, cheat. What will happen? So he want to forget this gold medal business and he thought, why these fellows gave me gold medal? Because he cannot escape from idiot, cheat. Because that voice is coming from himself. Then because of that gold medal, he got one job. He got one job and went to another place and got married. And he had a child, and the child was going to, fast forward, time is over, so I have to fast forward the story. So, the child is going to school, and the child is bringing report card. The child's mother sees that report card. Second standard studying child brings that report card. The child's mother, this gold medalist wife, sees that report card. As even she sees that report card, she remembers the intelligence of her husband and how the intelligence can miss. If father is intelligent, child also must be intelligent. Then she is wondering with that question. Then she asks the child, my dear child, do you know whose child you are? This fellow gold medalist is sitting in a chair and reading newspaper. What statement is going to come? He was just seeing. Then mother says to that child, don't you know that you are child of a gold medalist? Then this fellow feels very sad. See, I thought with that house the gold medal story is over. Now it is coming to second generation also. It is continuing. It is continuing in second generation also. Now you tell. Ramji asked everyone of us, now you tell, my dear devotees, now you tell, is this gold medal is a profit or loss in your life? Any sensible person will tell happily, boldly, that this gold medal is a loss. Why it is a loss? Because it has come at the cost of my self-dignity. It has come at the cost of truth. Therefore, it has made me as a hypocrite person. Therefore, my self-judgment about myself, in spite of receiving the gold medal, my self-judgment about myself becomes lower. So, it has come at the cost of my self-dignity. Therefore, it is a loss. Bhagavan Ramji says, in the process of gaining those external things, if anyone loses his own self-dignity, then what is the use of gaining that? Because the very violation is because of the pressure. Why he has violated? The violation because of pressure of getting more and more happiness and joy. But in the process, because his self-dignity is disturbed, naturally his joy is already available, joy also, already available dignity also is gone. So he ends up with a loss. All external gains have validity only when it improves my self-dignity. Anything comes at the cost of my self-dignity is a loss. And Ramji will argue more and more, and we will see that he will say that just by being truthful, all achievements come to you. They will pray and request you and come to you. He says, Bhumi kirti yasho lakshmihi purusham prartayantihi satyam samanuvartante satyameva bhaje tataha. Bhumi, Kirti, Yashaha, Lakshmi, everything comes to a person and requests the person, please accept me, please accept me. If I am going to be with you, I will be glorified. A money with a good person will be a glorified wealth. A money with a drunkard, it is not a worthy, valuable money. So Ramji will insist that. We will continue. I hope to have this same topic. Maybe another 5 or 6 classes. Whenever this topic is announced, you please come, you will certainly enjoy. Finally, at the end of the class, we will understand that just by being truthful in our life, we will be successful. सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं मृतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम तत्सत्। श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।